Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have some more RPG goodness. We're talking D&D tactical maps, reincarnated, brought to you by Dungeons & Dragons. For more information, go to dungeonsanddragons.com or wizardsofthecoast.com. Get tactical with this collection of full-color poster maps for the world's greatest role-playing game. Combat cartography. Maps are a key element of every Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Whether the map of a continent, country, city, or village, a map's importance in bringing your world to life can't be overstated. The same can be said for encounter maps. Sometimes you need a visual representation of the area your adventures are in, or perhaps tactical combat is simply the way your group rolls. However you play, we've got you covered. 20 beautifully rendered tactical poster maps are contained herein, perfect for bringing any D&D game to life. For use with the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game, of course, as I said before. For more information, go to dungeonsanddragons.com, and you can always check out wizardsofthecoast.com as well. And this was released in 2018 and has a retail value of $24.95. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness lies inside. As you guys know, I love me some maps. Always doing unboxings for our different maps. So let's see what this looks like. Very cool. So let's take a look what this says here. Right here it says tiny, small or medium, large, huge, gargantuan. Same thing for the hexes and squares. Creature size and space. Tiny 4 per square, small 1 per square, medium 1 per square, large 4 squares, huge 9 squares, gargantuan 16 squares. Then we have sphere template, cone template. We've got 3/4 cover squares, and we've got half cover squares. See what it says here. It says areas of effect. Choose an intersection of squares or hexes as the point of origin of an area of effect. Then follow its rules as normal. If an area of effect is circular and covers at least half a square, it affects the entire square. Got it. Line of sight. To precisely determine whether there is line of sight between two spaces, pick a corner of one space and trace an imaginary line from that corner to any part of another space. If at least one such line doesn't pass through or touch an object or effect that blocks vision, such as a stone wall, a thick curtain, or a dense cloud of fog, then there is line of sight. And it shows you half cover squares, 3/4 cover squares, and of course the cone template again, and the sphere template. So it's like an old notebook that you got from the 80s. Very, very cool. And we've got a boatload of maps. So let's take these out. Now right off the bat, just by touching these maps, I can tell that they are not like the Paizo mats. The Paizo mats have a beautiful finish to them. They're wet dry erase. These are not wet dry erase. I see that immediately, which brings the cost down on them, which I see immediately. Okay, so we're going to unfold these maps. Hopefully they'll tell us. Okay, so on the outside it tells what it is. Dungeons & Dragons. All right, it just says that on there. Of course, it's got the name. So let's start taking a look at some of these maps here. All right, so these are basically, they are not, so we're going to say they're not laminated. They are definitely regular size when it comes to the squares. So it definitely fits a 28mm base, or one of the figures that you would use for the Dungeons & Dragons miniatures that they have. So let's start at the bottom here. So let's take a size comparison here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20 by, let's see, we got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So it's a 20 by 30 map. So 20 by 30, let's start at the bottom here. So we see we got some dead skeletons here, or just some regular skeletons. Let's start this way. Let's start this way. again, these are basically thin paper maps. So again, one of the things I'll take on the expense of is I will laminate these maps. Which will protect the maps from usage. Again, the cartography is great. The colors are fantastic on here. But the maps are a bit thin for my liking. So I'm going to give it to, I mean, not to knock anybody, but I'm going to give it to Pathfinder and Starfinder. Those maps are, I'm going to say, are better quality than these maps are right here. So again, that's the first, this is the first side. So let's start at the bottom and work our way around so you can see the whole layout. And then we'll flip the map and we'll do this for every map that we have in the collection. But again, if you're careful with your maps, you should really have no problems. Again, we're going to come to here, go to that beautiful center point. The camera really illuminates the lava. It looks beautiful. It comes down here, rolling around this way. Okay, and then we're going to turn the map again this way. Continue to go this direction a little bit. There's your center point again. Bring it back here. We're going to continue to go around. We're going to make the turn. Go back to our third side. And again, there's your center point from the other direction. Then we're going to move this direction over to here. And we're back to where the original was. Okay, and now we're going to flip the map. So we got one with the lava is everywhere, and then we have this one where the lava is sporadic throughout it. So let's start down here and work our way around again. Again, you want to be a little more careful with these maps because they are on a little bit of a thinner side. Stalactites and stalagmites. Got those hanging around. I forget what they call piercers. I forget what they're called when they were being on an adventure one time and that you just thought they were regular parts of the wall and then they started coming and attacking us. I forget what they're called at this point. It's been a while. So, and rolling on to this part of the map. This is the center point. Right there is the center point of the map. And then we have the back, or the top end of the map that we're looking at right now. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom, as we do, and we're going to work our way through. Got this here. I'm going to spin it a little bit. Like you got a skeleton down here. It looks like you got some sand, but some golden treasures in here. And then go to the center point. Again, the squares are perfect for 28mm bases. And again, you can use 20, 28, 32. It's going to get a little bit large for this map. Again, getting to this side here, you can go up here to where the center point is again. Come back down here, keep moving over that direction to here. Start seeing it this way. Again, the center point from the other side. Start rolling this direction again. And then, so we have sporadic lava. And then we have the complete lava field, which is really, really cool. So I'm assuming this is before and after. So that's really, it's a very cool map. I'm digging it. Again, I'm not so happy by the fact that it's only thin. I would have liked to have had it already pre-laminated. That I would have liked. All right, so there you go. There's one of your maps. Okay, so we're going to push that one to the side. Put this over to here for now. And we're going to roll on to our second. Again, now this is something I really can dig. All right, so you got two separate maps. It looks like you got three on this page here. So let us start on this side here. We'll go from here. So it looks like some sort of forest map with some hills, heavily forested area with maybe a little country home right here that's been, obviously it's battle damaged. So let's pull that up a little bit here. Very nice. Again, the cartography is beautiful. The colors are pop. They're really nice colors. But then again, the thinness of the map. If I wanted to compare this paper to something, I'm going to say it's like wrapping paper. That is the best way to say this is like traditional wrapping paper. It's exactly what it feels like. Maybe just a little thicker. But that's kind of how it feels to me like. Here. Now this one here, if I fold this over like that a little bit here, just like that, it looks like it could possibly be inside a castle or something, possibly keep of some kind. But that's cool. So you got the outer side and you got the inside here, which is cool. Again, you just fold the map over in half and you've got something completely different. So that's helpful as well. Personally, I think I would have preferred that if it was one style through the entire map, just like the back is. Only reason being is that, again, if I want a whole forested area, this map is not the one that's going to do that for me. But again, I could totally understand why they're using two. So again, we'll lay that flat. And we'll start on this side here. And we'll work our way around so you see the complete map. And there we go. Now we're going to flip it this way. Again, right there at that point right here at the midpoint here, where you have the two maps. Now again, you could, if you want to in the map, also this could be an area of fog, and you're walking down this path here, these paths, or walking across this mountain chain. You walk into a foggy area, which leads you to the keep. Now you could do it that way as well. Again, it's your game, it's your adventure, it's your, if you're the GM, you're making the rules as you go along. It's not necessarily up to what the map is presenting to you. So again, it's up to your imagination, however you want to use this. Again, this map is created for Dungeons and Dragons, but at the same time, you could use it for Pathfinder, Starfinder. You could use it for Aliens, the role-playing game. You could use it for anything you want to use it for. Heroes Reborn, you know, any type of role-playing game that you want to use the word. The company's just happy that you made the purchase. That's the most important thing to them, and that you're having fun. That's really the magnitude of this, I think. And there you go. We're back to where we started, which is the heavily forested area and the hills that are here, and the room that the one house that seems to have taken quite a beating during a battle. All right, well, now we're going to flip the map. And now we have a city, which is very cool. Well, I'm not going to say it's a city, but it's going to be a town I'm going to go with. A rural town. So let's start at the bottom and we'll make our way through it. Again, the nice inn down here. They have really nice doors, so it's a little bit of an upscale village. You can tell by the types of doors that they have here. That's very nice. Fold that under so I can see this here. Very nice again. Love the attention to detail, the beds, everything that you're going to need. And now if you have some terrain, you can put some terrain pieces in there to make it 3D again. And we're going to move over to this side here. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. And now we're going to go to the top. There you go. This looks like we're a meeting hall. A bunch of chairs set up, a bunch of guys talking. That's what it looks like. Okay, cool. So let's start this at the top where we started off, where the bar is, and we're going to make our way around it. Again, there's your center point right there. This little town. Very cool. Again, I always like using maps like this because it really gives you the flavor. Again, it's 30 by 20 just like the other maps were. And gives you that flavor. Even on a hard journey, you come to an area like this where you can re-up. Get some shut-eye in the beds down here. They call you into the meeting. And they say, hi adventurers. We got a problem in the town. Would you like to come in and help us out? And there you go. And then shifting around. And this is a cool village map where, again, it's designed for Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, those are windows, those are doors. Each square equals 5 feet. So it's very, 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 very cool. Again, your center point, right there is your center point. And we're going to flip it over this way. Back to where we started. And there it is. So that's another map, and that's very cool. Again, one side is the village. The other side you have the forest with you have a forest area with a destroyed home, and then you have some sort of keep right here. So that's very, very cool as well. We're going to fold this up real quick and move on to the next one. So that's your second map, or fourth, depending on the way you want to look at it. So we've got some more. This looks like your traditional cavern. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Let's start on this side here. We'll start down in this direction here. We'll start down here. Now, one other thing I think I would have liked better, again, having done so many unboxings of these maps before, I would like example, if you get to look at the Pathfinder or Starfinder one, which is obviously their direct competition, but in reality, D&D really doesn't have competition because there's so many people who play it, and a lot of people are moving from the in-person to the online gaming. My brother does a lot of the online gaming through D&D certified matches and stuff like that, online through Discord or whatever it may be, or even through D&D Online itself. But one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is the fact that, so for Pathfinder and Starfinder maps, they always have a title on the map. So it'll be like Classic Winter Forest, or Space Station, or Coastline, Occult Dungeon, where these don't have any really names on them. So I think the names are a little bit, give you a little bit of help. Of course, it's up to your own imagination what they're used for. But again, I always like that kind of, at least a little bit of an idea. And there you go. You got some supplies right here. I'll see this in air that's been under attack as well. Destroyed rubble. Looks like it's part of an underground exploration, possibly. And then the bottom part of the map as well. Or I should say the top of the map, depending on the way you want to look at it, which way you're coming from. So that's your top. Okay, so let's start from the bottom and work our way around as we just did. So again, there's your center point right there. Coming around here this way. Again, so far on none of these maps have I seen any title or concept as to what type of map this is. Like the bridge, I do like that a lot. That's very cool with the water going underground. So this is like I say, an underground cavern or something of that nature. That's the way I approach this, or an archaeological dig, something of that nature that you're checking out. Okay, and again, there's your center point right here. Is your center point. Again, 20 by 30. We're going to turn it around this way. Show you from the bottom ridge. And this is now the top. And here's your center point again. Moving around this direction. And we're going to turn, make the big turn as they say. Starting back down on the bottom. There's all the supplies we were talking about earlier. And your center point is right here. There you go. Gives you a good viewpoint there. As we move on. And we're back to where we started. Back down here again. Now let's flip the map. And this looks like more of a dark cave of some kind. So let's take a look at this up close first. And some more remains. It looks like some sort of building. Has all kinds of rocks in there. Has some supplies in there. Some casks and barrels. You see some shovels in there. And some magic happening in this room here, it looks like, possibly. Gonna pick some more supplies in here. So that's that part. Let's take a look here. Yeah. This definitely looks like more like an archaeological dig of some sort. Definitely. Again, coming through here. Or it could be like a mine for some dwarves, something of that nature. Rather than being an archaeological dig, it could be, like I said, some mines of some dwarves. And there you go. Showcases the detail that they're putting into these maps. Again, the details, the cartography, everything about this is really, really nice. Really, really awesome. But then again, it's the paper. I could see myself. It could be ripped very easily. So that's the only concern I have. Again, we're starting from the bottom, working our way. Again, the center point is right here. This would be your center point right now. This would be right here is your center point right there. There's your center point. I'm going to turn this way again. Coming up this direction. Right here is your center point. Again. Now, if you look at that right there, this has been opened once, and again, you see a little bit of, not a fraying, but you see a little discoloration right there on the map. So that's from the map being bending. When you have the lamination, that stuff doesn't happen. Again, there's one of the dig sites areas down here. Again, back to that center point where you can see it right there. Again, it's not a rip, it's nothing, but that's gonna happen. Whenever you have thinner paper, that's gonna happen. And I could say with any of the other maps that I have purchased, it does not happen. That does not have it. This, see, you got one there, got one there. Again, it's not necessarily a complaint, it's a critique. I know some people don't like being critiqued, but that's here nor there. This is my hard-earned money that I put out for all these things, so I'm entitled to have something to say from time to time. And again, we're back to the beginning, and right here, we're at the center point there. And then as I flip this, we are back to the first one that we had. So that's cool. Flip that again this way, flip that again this way, and they do fold up very nicely, so that's always a beautiful thing. So that's map number 3. Moving on to map number 4. Now, I must say one thing I'm going to say is that you definitely get your bang for your buck on this purchase. So to have all these maps, so if you're starting out and you don't have a collection of maps like I have, so we're going to start here. I'm going to start from this side. This is definitely a good value. There's no question of that. With all these maps, forget about it. It's a great way to start off. You have lots of different terrain options, lots of different starting point options. You have, winter. This is also a winter or ice, snow. Very, very nice. Moving on to the next part. It's really, really great, But again, I wish the quality was just a little bit more. The lamination, again, it'll take this from being a $30 or $25 purchase. It'll put it up to that $45, $50, $60 price. But if you want something that's going to last and something that you're going to use over and over again, you're playing guys who are gaming. Again, you usually got snacks on the table, you got food on the table, you might have drinks on the table. Drink falls over, this is done. There's no question about that. If I want to put an X on here, it's now marked and it's permanent marked on there. So that's just some of the things. Again, so I'll get this laminated and it eliminates all these complaints that I have. But again, it's just an extra expense for doing that. So I'm going to start back where we originally started. So I'm going to start here, work our way around. Again, I'm going to move up to the center point. Center point is right here. Down here. I'm going to flip the map a little bit, move this direction. And as we're going through here, get to here. Again, that is your center point of the map. Again, this appears to be some sort of Arctic region or a region that has come under a winter spell or something of that nature. Now, what is that stuff there? That looks like frozen plants of some kind. So again, going to move this direction here. And we'll move up to where the center point is, which is right here. Come back down here again. And go around this way. Take a look at it again from here, this perspective. Again, that's your center point right there. I'm going to continue to move this direction. And then I'm going to go here, and we're back to where we started. Right back here again, where we started. So we're going to take this, we're going to flip this over. Now this one here, again, looks like it's the outside portion. When you're walking into the hills, it looks like this is inside of a castle, which is very, very cool. Very, 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 very cool. So we're gonna start down here and work our way around. So again, that's very cool. Again. And then the next layer up. Again, the roofs are beautiful. Everything's right to scale. They look really, really cool. So, I'm not trying to pull on this that much because, again, I don't want to rip it. So again, when I'm talking about those white marks, again, just opened it. You see the white mark right there? Bring it closer. See that? That's the beginning of a little tear. And that again, I just opened the map today, first time. You saw me unwrap it. So that's a concern I have. You know, how quickly do these maps rip? So again, yes, they are a good purchase. It is a very good value for a purchase. You get a lot of maps. But again, how quickly are the maps going to get destroyed or distorted because of little holes like that? I'm not sure. So again, center point is right here. That's their center point right there. So again, this is very, very cool. It's funny, some maps that you get, at least I know maps that I've purchased, there's certain ones you use a lot, and then there's other ones you have in the arsenal just in case it comes across a time that you need it, but you tend to use them less. Center point again. Coming back down here. Got your wagons down here. And then you got part of the wall of the keep or the castle. Very, very cool. Again, there may be a garbage can or something, a garbage truck or something outside. So if you hear that noise in the background, I apologize for that. I have no control of the outside noises. So there you go. Again, your center point is right here. And coming back here. It's a very, very cool map. I gotta be telling you this. You know, I gotta be honest with you about it. Very, very cool. And again, you can use these maps for any type of role-playing game that you want. If you're creating your own 28mm game, you could be doing that using solo rules or using whatever rules that you're using. Country Road Z, Xenos Rampant, Doomed, any of the 28mm agnostic games, you can use maps instead of putting all the terrain out. Again, there's your center point right here. They look great, you know. You can use it for all types of adventures, which is really, really cool. And again, for 25 bucks, I can't complain because it is a really, really good deal. So here we are, that's another map down. So this is more of a winter styled map. So that is cool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And we're rolling on. So again, the value. And you can take some of these maps just by looking at them. You can take some of these maps and you can put them together, and now you have a 40 by 60 map. Okay, so this is our first one. So we're going to start over here. We get another fortress, it looks like, of some sort. Very, very nice. Show you inside that again. Nice. The top part. Again, if you want to add additional terrain pieces onto here, if you want to use and throw on some trees or some bushes or some vehicles or whatever you want to throw in here, you're more than capable of doing that. You know, so long as they're in scale, that's the whole thing. So again, there's that whole area here. So let's start from the bottom and work our way around again. And it looks like, let's say that's water. Yeah, I'm thinking that's water. It looks like it's a moat going around. Okay. We're gonna, as I say, make the big turn. Stop here, and that's your center point right there. Come back down. And the wall's been breached. See, when I see the rocks falling down like that, I'm assuming that's water there. It may just be a moat that's dried up or whatever. But yep, it's a good way to get in. So again, as we roll this direction, there's your entrance. So we're gonna roll it this way. Again, it's very, very cool. Very, very nice map, nicely detailed, good cartography. Again, I'm gonna move up here. There's your center point. Okay. That's your center point right about there. That's your center point. Okay. And then we're gonna continue to move around and look down here. Continue to move around. And there's your center point right about there. Down. Got the staircase coming in. You got some doors, different light sources. And we're back to where we started, which is right here again. All right, so let's flip the map. So we'll start down here. You know, this could be the basement under that area that's up there, or a completely different area. Totally, again, up to you as the GM. Lots of supplies and barrels and casks. Looks like you got some sort of flame down here as well. Some tables. All right, very cool. The great thing about role-playing games is that you can pretty much, whatever you can envision is whatever you can make these maps into, which is great. Again, they don't give you any titles to give you an idea of what kind of maps we have here. But again, that's okay. They leave it up to your imagination, which is, you know, the whole thing behind Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. So again, we'll start from here and we'll work our way around the map. Come up to here. And your center point's going to be right there. And unfortunately, as I always say to you, on every map I've showed you so far, you find the one side, you find center point, which is right there. You're going to find those little pops in the map from the wear of opening it. And there's one right there. And you can see it right there, that white spot. And that's what I'm talking about. on none of the laminated piezo maps. But again, the piezo maps is 25 bucks for one map, or 20 bucks for just a map. If we did this, again, do 20 bucks per map that's in here, you're paying a lot of money for it. Again, so you can see it right there. So is it a major concern? No, it is not. There's your center point right there. No, but it could become a concern down here. And again, we're back down to where we started in the map. All right. And that's map number 5. Map number 6. This may become the largest and longest map unboxing I've done because there's so many maps. I mean, I don't even know if we're halfway through this yet. I'm not even sure. So let's start with this. So again, value, fantastic value on this. Really awesome. Really awesome video. I mean, maps. Really awesome video of maps. That sounds like I'm tooting my own horn there. Sorry, guys. Freudian slip. But again, I get a little nervous when holding these maps and using these maps, so I'm trying to be careful here. Trying to show you the edges as they come along. And that's the top of the map. Okay, so let's take again, start from the bottom where we started off and move our way through. So we're going to pop up here, and that's your center point right there. We're going to move along the ridges here, and then we're going to make the big turn. Again, to your center point, which is right there. Again, you have one of the little pops right there. You see it? Turn it around a bit. Pop right there. Your center point, another pop right there. So that's the tension, those are tension pops. And someone is having a fun time out there with a chainsaw. Or they're doing a fall cleanup. And there's your center point again right there. Nice. That's nice. Very nice. And here we go down to here. And then we're going to get back to where we originally were. Back here again. All right, so now we're going to flip the map over. And here we go. This looks like some sort of old, almost like an old Western town, which is really cool. It's more like a haunted town or abandoned town. Right now, again, I could see using this for like a Deadlands or Walking Dead scenario. That's what I could see something like this happen. And you can do that for Walking Dead role-playing game. So like I said, whenever you purchase these maps, like I do, I use them for all my games. You know, just because Dungeons & Dragons put it out or Wizards of the Coast put it out doesn't mean I can't use it for, you know, any of the other systems that I play. Because as you guys know, I do a lot of unboxings and I do a lot of different gaming. So the reality is that I'm going to use it for what I want to use it for. Because a map like this could really be used for the old World War I Never Going Home game as well. So that's really cool too. So again, looking at all the cartography is really awesome. you know, the rust, everything else that they have here is really, really outstanding. This is really, really, really a nice map. Okay, rolling over this direction. Again, your center point's going to be right there in the center of that house right there. I like the dead trees, the statues, the rusting. You know, you can use this for any type of, definitely, any type of post-apocalyptic also. This would be perfect for post-apocalyptic. Again, there's your center point right there. Fountain, some holes leading to the underworld, the sewers. It looks like a sewer grate there. Again, very, very cool. Again, your center point is right there. And we're going to roll this way. And then we're going to come over to here, or back to our original starting point. So that is another map completed. I think I folded that one wrong. Give me a second here. I think I folded that one wrong. Okay, moving on to the next map. Again, as I always say in every one of my videos, when I'm doing with maps, you gotta crack the map. Ooh, now this is something nice. Ooh, I'm digging this one a lot. This is some sort of mine. This is really awesome. All right, so let's start with this one up close. We'll work our way around. Again, this one. This one's really, really nice. Yeah, the attention to detail on this one's really, really digging it. Really, really nice. Got that up, see? Again, I don't want to rip it. Very, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Really, really, really nice. You know, the tables, the attention to details, the carpeting, the couches, the tables, the library. Very, 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 very cool. This one's very, very cool. All right, so let's start at the bottom and work our way around. Very, very cool. And I can move up to here, our center point view at the light, right there at the light. Very, very cool. Looks like everybody's looking to interrupt this video today. Some of you are going, what's that noise? What is that? Yes, that's a phone on the wall. Yes, for the triple play through Comcast or whatever we use. Verizon. Triple play. And we continue to move this direction. Again, attention to detail in each of the rooms is really, really nice. Very, 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 very cool. Again, center point is the light. That's really, really cool. Really, really nice. This is a really nice map. Really like this one a lot. Okay, doors. Entering each of the areas. Attention to detail in each area. The really cool spider. too. There's your center point again, right there. Again, some bones here, some bones there, and they're going to come back to where we started, right back here. Okay, and we're now going to flip this over as well. Yep, better flip this over. Here, right down here. Here. Again, the colors here are really popping. The camera's really picking them up really well. So again, giving that the different variation of colors throughout the room. Really, really cool. And again, looks like inside of a church, temple of some sort. Again, up to your imagination how you do this. Okay, so let's start at the bottom and work our way around. Okay, we'll get through here. We're going to be up to our center point, which is right here at the statue, right where that statue is, right next to it. That's the center point of the map. Again, all these maps are 20 by 30. Really cool with all the lights in here. Very cool. Or actually, those are statues. Yeah, they look like actually those are what are they called? Pipes. So those are entrances from pipes that are right there. That's very, very cool. Some doorways, sarcophagus. Center point is right over here. That's where we said it was. Right there. Again, moving along. Coming down to this direction. Again, go back up. Center point is over here. Right there. Come back down again. Coming around. Turning around. Again, the inner sanctum right there. Very cool. Doors. Very cool. Again, there's your center point right there. This would be your center point right here. So again, really cool map. Very, very cool. All right, so we'll close this one up. That one. And we got another map. I think we have a total of 10 maps. So let us start with this map here. And we'll start down here. Looks like a minotaur right there. So it's a statue of a minotaur. If it's not a minotaur, don't start yelling at me on the thing saying, oh, you don't know your D&D characters, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not a good look, as they say. This looks like some sort of temple, which is cool, because I don't have anything that's like this. Yeah, cool. Walking down into underground temple. That's very, very cool. Got two statues there who are keeping an eye out. Very, very cool. So let's take from the bottom again. Moving over. Moving across this direction. Again, your center point would be right there. Very, very cool. Again, when you're going down into your entrance, you got the two stone statues there. There's your center point right there. Okay, coming around this direction. Working its way around again. There's your center point again. And there you are, back to the beginning again. And we're going to flip this over and take a look at our other side, which is a two-sided map. Again, we're talking about a forested region. Looks like a lot of area here has been cut down. We have some major rocks in between all the areas here. So again, the vegetation is all around it. So something happened in here to cause this to happen. So let's take a look at it. Which is interesting to me because so far we haven't had any true forest map except for the half maps. Oh, there's some sort of statue right there. See, I will show you that one. We'll get closer up to that. Again, let's take a look at that real quick, that statue that's there. All right, very cool. Again, and then if we cut this map in half, which is what they did here, you have the inner circle of something there, which has all kinds of writing on it. Going across here like this. Take a look at that. I'm not sure what that is, what kind of writing that is. Very interesting. Oh, pull that up like that. There's your entrance in. Okay, so again, you have the two complete different maps. So there you go. So let's lay this down here. We can look at it this way. And that would be your center point right in the middle there. To your center point again, just showing you half the map. One shot. This way it's a little bit easier so you concentrate just to see what it looks like just as the half map. Around. Again, there's that statue which we had there. If we can show from that angle too. Very cool. As we come around this way, and we're back to the beginning again, and we'll flip this over to show you this map from this angle too. That would be your center point of the map on this side. Move in this direction. Again, your center point, moving around. And your center point again. And there you have it. We're right back to the beginning again. So it appears. So that's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maps. So that's 18 sides, 18 different maps. And we got 2 more to go. 2 more maps to go. We got 8. Yep, so we got a total of 10 maps in here, which is really, really outstanding. Wow, now this is something. Now this is inside a castle. Now this is impressive. Wow, that's really, really cool. Let's take a look at this again. That's really cool. It's really, really well done. Okay. Really, really nice. Nice. And we've hit the 1 hour mark. I normally don't like to have videos this long, but when you have this many maps, it's going to take a while to go through them all to show you the details on the maps. I don't want to speed through them, you know, so I take my time. And I thank you for staying with me throughout the video. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am bringing it to you. So again, here's this starting point. Again, your center point would be right here. Again, so we're starting down here, working our way around the outside of the castle. Then come to here. Got your supplies, got your well fountain there. There's your center point right here. Again, rolling along this way. The other side here, all kinds of supplies. Staircase going down, some more supplies. Doors. Again, your center point is right here. Then coming through here. Again, some beds. Doors. Vegetation. Got a meeting room of some sort. Could be where soldiers are kept. And lodging area, fire pit. Again, your center point is right there. And coming this way. And then flipping around again to where we started. Very, very, very cool. This is a really, really cool map. And flipping it onto this side. Let's take a look what we got here. We've got some more. So it looks like this is the outside, or it could be further into the castle, within the castle walls. This could be the area where the peasants are living. And you got your farming, or the farming could be outside. They're under attack. They can go fall back to the keep. Got a nice vegetated area there. Lots of vegetation. Got a nice farm area. And of course you got the road. Battlements. Some more. This would work really well even with Planet of the Apes role-playing game. Would be another one this would be really used. Well worth being used. Very, very cool. She's got the farm. Not so much the side with the, not so much with the castle, but this side here would be very helpful and very cool to be used as an adventure on the Planet of the Apes. So there you go. Rolling this way, as we say. Then your center point will be right here in the middle. Hence, center point. Sliding up around this direction. Going along with the road this time. Coming up to here, which is your center point right there. Which is really, really cool. And then we're going to move around this direction. And move up there. There's your center point right there. Again, really digging this type of stuff. Because I don't have many maps that are like this, so this is really cool. As you guys know, I love to do unboxing of maps, and I love to show you guys the maps, because these are always, maps are so important. It even says it in the outside part on the introduction to the map. Maps are so important. You need so many to have a great adventure. And back to where we started. Okay, so we got our castle and we got the farmer area. So we'll close that up like that. And we are on to our last map. Better close this one up. There it goes. And we're finally at our last map. And could it actually be a wooded area? Say it isn't so, because that's It's one thing we didn't see really that much this time. Oh, there we go. Whoa, uh-oh. Those look like some graves. Look out now. So we have a wilderness area. This is good. Got the road. Got some. Okay, so let's show it to you this way. There you go. Some rock piles. Got some forests on this side. Got some graves over there. How did they get there? Well, that's part of your adventure. Why are they there? And who buried them? And then we'll move on to this part here. Looks like a little bit of fencing. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's go around all, so your center point will be right there. So let's make our way around the mulberry bush, as my dad used to say. All right, we're going to continue to move this direction. There, and I'm going to take you to the center point again, which is right there. And we're going to come around here. We're going to shift slightly here. Again, we're going to go up to our center point, which is right there. We'll come back down here. And there's that grave site again right there. Again, it has that white perforation there from where it's bent. And we're back to where we started. And last but not least, we're going to flip this over. Yeah, and we have a city and a bridge, which looks like it has definitely seen better days. All right, so let's take a look here. Yes. And then we have, so fall back to the bridge, like Saving Private Ryan. So again, if you're doing a World War II campaign and you need a map for that, we got it right here too. We got a destroyed bridge. Ooh, dexterity saver. Jumping across the bridge, does the bridge collapse as you're going across it? Or how do you cross that bridge? Excellent. And then over here, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, again, start from here and work our way around. Can come to here, and our center point is right there, where that white dot is. So again, I keep going back to this, but again, that $25 mark, really, there's your center point right here. That for $25 to get 20 maps as it's basically is like an introductory price. It's a great way to get people involved in the gaming and have a quick and easy way to get maps and get up and start playing. That's the key. Center point. There's your bridge that's almost destroyed. So coming up this way, that would be dexterity checks to make sure. Again, the horses may have to travel through the water. Maybe get attacked while you're in the water. There you go. Getting back to your center point. Kind of through this way. And we're back to where we started. There you have it. So let's fold this one up. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 maps for your use in Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game. So there you go, 10. And this is everything that's included. And this concludes our unboxing of D&D Tactical Maps Reincarnated for Dungeons and Dragons. Get tactical with this collection of full-color poster maps for the world's greatest role-playing game. Again, for more information, go to DungeonsandDragons.com or WizardsOfTheCoast.com. Again, there's your information, background. Again, inside here, again, inside the folder, it tells you what's considered to be a tiny, small, medium, large, huge, or gargantuan creature based on the size, which they have here, which is a good, cool reference to have. And also on this side gives you rules for areas of effect, line of sight, gives you a sphere template and a cone template. And also gives you for half cover squares and 3/4 cover squares. So that's everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing for today. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.